Okay, yeah, that works great. Hello, everybody. My name's Garrett Macdonald. I work at Permanent Ventures. It's a fund focused on infrastructure projects. So far, we've been super interested in investing in the RWeave ecosystem. So yeah, I'm here to show shamelessly one of our portfolio companies, which I generally think is super useful to developers, and hopefully will be to some of you as well if you're building Web3 applications. So yeah, just to give a little bit of context, one of the biggest problems in Web3 with data storage is just disappearing of data, especially with like NFT metadata, for example. Much of it has, for instance, if people have depended on like IPFS to store it, has disappeared because, a node hasn't been maintained to pin the data and so on. So yeah, one of our favorite portfolio companies is called Bundler Network, and it provides basically a super easy to use API to upload data onto RWeave, where it's stored with strong economic guarantees of permanence. And this just makes it super seamless. So a lot of the top projects that have a use case for this kind of thing, like NFT marketplaces or publishing platforms such as Mirror, or social networks such as Lin's protocol, all use Bundler to access the RWeave network. Some of the features is you can upload instantly, pay in various currencies, and yeah, it's very, very scalable and easy to integrate. So just wanted to give like a little live demonstration of it. It's quite easy to use, whether you want to implement it in Node or via CLI for your applications. But just for the sake of easy demonstration, here's via the CLI. So first you just like upload basically you deposit some funds with any of Bundler nodes running on the network. So I already deposited some, so the confirmations would be done by now. But yeah, you can just check the balance on this address right here. For example, I'm paying in RWeave, but you can pay in Matic, ETH, or whatever native token is on the network that your guys' applications are in, and it handles the conversion for you. So you don't have to have like a RWeave balance. So you don't need to worry about that, or if you're making your users pay, they don't need to worry about that. Then basically, we can check the price by just like checking the size of the file we want to upload, and then check the price there. So it's going to say, it's going to cost us this like microscopic amount of funds. And then, yeah, when you want to deploy, you just, run a command like this, hit enter, and then boom, it's already done. We can just kind of show you like that. And then there it is. So, it's just like super seamless and easy, and kind of no excuse to not integrate it. But yeah, that's the quick demo that I wanted to give. So happy to spend the rest of the time. If any of you guys want to integrate it in your applications, can dive deeper into that, like using Node and so on. Otherwise, happy to field any kind of questions. But yeah, that was the quick 2-minute demo.
It was cool.
Thanks. Yeah.
Can you talk a bit about those incentives that you mentioned that will help support long-term storage?
Yeah. So the way the incentives are set up, because like guaranteeing permanence is like quite a big claim. So you have to have some kind of interesting game theory to accomplish that, and some assumptions have to be made. But the way that the RWeave network handles that is you deposit, when you upload a file, you pay a fee. And instead of with like Ethereum or Bitcoin, that fee going entirely to the validators or miners, most of the fee in RWeave's case goes into an endowment that's controlled by the protocol itself. No like group of people or keys controlled by humans at all, but just like literally the protocol itself has this endowment fund. And when you're paying for an upload, the network's making some assumptions. So you're paying at first for the current price of 200 years of storage at like the market rate, plus so then the network is assuming that the cost of storage on average will go down by 0.5% per year, and that makes that 200 years extend into perpetuity. Yeah, but if that assumption ends up being wrong, then yeah, the network won't work. But yeah, so far it's been that's based on like the evolution of storage in the past like 50 years. That's extremely conservative. So.
And what kind of data can be stored? Is it only limited to the size?
Yeah, there's no limit to the size. Basically, if we want, we could check the price of some like really huge size. If we want to, that was a couple megabytes, but you wanted to add like a bunch of zeros there, it's fine. It's just going to cost more money. Like one Arweave is like $5 right now, so 5 times. That's like, it would be 280,000 to store, like that many bytes, so it scales up as high as you want it. The average upload rate is something in the range of like a couple hundred gigabytes per day currently. In the peak of the, NFT bull market, it was like multiple terabytes per day because everyone's generating these new NFTs. But yeah, so theoretically the network's designed to expand to meet the demand in real time.
Follow-up questions. Do you have already built in or considering encryption or decryption on demand? If for instance, I have a file which I want only people with this public-private key to be accessible, can it be done or
so
in the future?
The data that you upload is just completely raw in exactly the format you upload it in. So you can upload any kind of data you want, and the encryption, decryption is totally up to you. So having some kind of middle layer that exists as like a smart contract on Ethereum or whatever you could implement through that some kind of like key management in a decentralized way to do encryption, decryption. But Arweave itself is just like a pure data storage platform where it's just going to accept whatever data you give it. You can encrypt it first before you upload it, do unencrypted data, whatever. But a feature like that kind of encryption, decryption like isn't built in. Yeah.
Is all of the data replicated across basically all of the network, or you mentioned something about specific nodes holding it?
Yes, so a good way to explain it is to kind of compare it with how Filecoin goes about it, where Filecoin is more of like a decentralized, marketplace for file storage, where people offering storage come up and make their offers, people wanting to buy storage come up and do it, and then they make fixed time period contracts. So I can engage you to store my files for 1 year, and I should probably engage a few people just in case one party messes up, then you have a few backups. The Arweave network does this on the protocol level automatically, so all the miners are incentivized to store as much data as they can. So currently, because the network's relatively small, like under 200 terabytes of like data that people have paid to have stored in perpetuity, effectively right now all the miners store all the data, but as it scales up to many petabytes, it'll happen such that it's more distributed, and that distribution will happen more kind of automatically. Miners will just hold as much as they can. Some miners will join and only want to offer a couple hundred terabytes, and they'll just get the mining rewards in proportion to the storage that they provide. So yeah, the replication is like incentivized more on the protocol mining level. So yeah, but currently there's like thousands of replicas of the entire data set, which is totally unnecessary. But that's just how it's working because it's such a small data set relatively right now.
And is the incentivization to store a piece of data connected to the price when it was uploaded? I'm wondering if like price fluctuations would affect if a piece of data could become less desirable and then fall out.
Yeah, that's a good question. All the pieces of data, like the market price of like data storage at any moment does fluctuate, but the value of all the data once it's on the network is the same from the miner's perspective. So they're incentivized to hold it all equally. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, the one in the back. Or no?
Who wants?
Feel free to shout if you have a question. No? All right, cool. In that case, thank you guys.